Brahmaputra, the son of the creator, geologically is the youngest among the major rivers in the world. Yet, it is known as a moving ocean and lifeline of northeast India. Brahmaputra, the Red River, defines socio-cultural life in Assam and other northeastern states of India. It is vital to irrigation, inland water transport, inhabited by a plethora of biodiversity, and it sustains growth and development. It is a transboundary river with a length of 2,880 kilometers, originating at the Ansi Glacier in the Tibet Himalayas. It flows as Yarlung Sangpo in Tibet for 1,100 kilometers in an easterly direction. Then, after passing Pei in Tibet, the river turns suddenly to the north and cuts the mountainous massifs of Gyalaperi and Namcha Barwa with a series of rapids. Thereafter, the river turns south and flows through a deep gorge across the Himalayas as Siang, as a meandering channel. At Sadia in Assam, the river meets two of its tributaries, Dibang and Lohit, and starts flowing westerly with the name Brahmaputra as a braided channel. After traversing the Assam plains at Dhuburi, it again changes its direction towards south, and after joining the Ganges in Bangladesh, meets the Bay of Bengal, forming the Sundarban Delta. It is one of the largest rivers in the world by discharge and is second in length. It has a drainage area of 7,12,035 square kilometers. For the geologist and the environmentalist, the Brahmaputra is a very unique river as it drains the cold, dry plateau of Tibet, the rain-drenched Himalayan slopes, the landlocked alluvial plains of Assam, and the vast deltaic lowlands of Bangladesh. The Brahmaputra Valley has 5 national parks and 20 wildlife sanctuaries along the river. The drainage network of this great river enables the growth of different forest types and is home to many endangered and threatened species. The Brahmaputra, along with its numerous tributaries, brings in huge volume of sediments into the basin, making it one of the most fertile regions of the country. It has also the distinction of being the river with highest sediment yield of 852.4 tons per square kilometers per year in the world, and second highest water yield at Delta, next only to Amazon. While traversing through India, the river has astonishingly variable channel width in the range of 18 kilometers to 1.2 kilometers. Though described as a braided river, Brahmaputra appears to be a multi-channel and multi-pattern river that has a tendency to very frequently generate an anabranching pattern in decadal scale. The Brahmaputra receives as many as 22 major tributaries in Tibet, 33 in India, and 3 in Bangladesh. The major tributaries of the river in India are Dibang, Lohit, Burhi Dihing, Nadihing, Ai, Subansiri, Dhansiri, Dikrong, Mana, Pagladia, Jia Bharali, etc., draining the Himalayas, Naga Patkai ranges, as well as the Shillong Plateau. Brahmaputra showcases the various landforms related to fluvial processes. One of the major landforms defining the Brahmaputra Valley is a fault-bound prominent mountain front from which the tributaries of Brahmaputra descend. The trunk channel Brahmaputra is aligned at the base of the mountain front in a broadly east-northeast, west-southwest trend. Other important landforms of the valley are residual hills, the alluvial fans, comprising dominantly of coarse fraction slope wash deposits, channel bars and point bars. The peculiar drainage of Brahmaputra reflects a complex history of crustal deformation and river reorganization. It has witnessed the deformational events suffered by its catchment areas during the Himalayan orogeny, the subduction of Indian plate below the Burmese plate, as well as the upliftment of Shillong Plateau. The complete path of the river is controlled by major sutures, falls or lineaments. The easterly flow of the river in Tibet is along the Indus-Sangpo suture zone. Then it takes the U-turn around the hinge zone of the eastern Himalayan syntaxis and follows the southerly path. Then, in the Assam plains, its path is governed by the Brahmaputra lineament, Jorhat Fault, Dangori Fault, etc. And again the southerly turn is controlled by the Dhubri Fault. It is postulated that the Brahmaputra was once upon a time flowing along the present path of Irrawaddy and then the present path of Lohit before captured by the Siang. The uplift of the Shillong Plateau along with the westward encroachment of the Indo-Burman ranges in the Pliocene age has caused diversion of the Paleo-Brahmaputra away from the Surma Basin to a new route west of the Shillong Plateau. The Brahmaputra Valley in Upper Assam is strongly influenced by the Himalayan and Naga Patkai belt orogeny, frequently avulsing tributaries along the north bank, in contrast to the older meander bends of the south bank. Tributaries reflect the influence of two different tectonic domains: the huge sediment load, the very low gradient, decadal unbranching, coupled with the active tectonics of its catchment, results in forming numerous bars within the main channel. Some of them get stabilized, and so the Brahmaputra has a unique distinction of having the largest and smallest inhabited river islands of the world within its course. Between Dibrugarh and Lakhimpur of Assam, the river divides into two channels, the northern Kherkutia Channel and the southern Brahmaputra Channel. The two channels join again about 100 kilometers downstream, forming the island Majuli. The island has total 144 villages with a population of over 160,000 and a density of 300 individuals per square kilometer. Originally, the island was a narrow and long piece of land called Majali, land in the middle of two parallel rivers that had Brahmaputra flowing in the north and river Burhi-Dihing flowing in the south till they met at Lakhu. Frequent earthquakes in the period 1661 to 1696 set the stage for a catastrophic flood in 1750 that continued for 15 days. As a result of the flood, the Brahmaputra split into two branches, forming the island. During the monsoon season, floods are a very common occurrence in the valley. Deforestation in the Brahmaputra watershed has resulted in increased siltation levels, flash floods, and soil erosion in critical downstream habitat, such as the Majuli Island. The effects of flooding can be devastating and cause significant damage to crops and houses. Serious bank erosion with consequent loss of homesteads, school and land, and loss of many lives, livestock and fisheries. Flood control measures are regularly undertaken, but until now, the flood problem remains unsolved. The Brahmaputra River experiences high levels of bank erosion, usually via slab failure and channel migration caused by its strong current, lack of riverbank vegetation, and loose sand and silt which compose its banks. Presently, Geological Survey of India is engaged in the bank erosion vulnerability mapping in selected areas of the island to tackle the perennial disaster. The work is targeted to delineate the active and probable areas of bank erosion by Brahmaputra River in the southern bank of Majuli by bank erosion vulnerability mapping. Brahmaputra is the lifeline of the states it flows through. It has a rich history. Its songs, the traditional dances, literature, lifestyle are unparalleled and has nurtured distinctive ethnic values for centuries. Majuli is known as the cultural capital of Assam ever since the 16th century and is the seat of Neo-Vaishnavism in the Assam Valley. There are several satras of Vaishnava religious creed founded by Srimanta Sankardeva, the father of Assamese culture. Pottery is made in Majuli from beaten clay and burnt in driftwood fired kilns in the same mode carried out by the peoples of the ancient Harappan civilization. The handloom work of the tribal population is also internationally famous. Majuli is also famed for its mask making. Elaborate masks depicting various gods are painstakingly made by hand, and many of the masks are used for theatre performances. The Brahmaputra Valley is also an interesting point of confluence for social, cultural, as well as economic variations. The northeastern Indian part of the Brahmaputra catchment is home for more than 166 separate tribes, 160 scheduled tribes, and over 400 other tribal and sub-tribal communities and groups, speaking a wide range of languages with their exotic cultural ethos. Though devastating when it is angry, this river, also known as Luit, is the source of strength for the people of the valley. Time and again, they have expressed their unity as Luit Poria, or people from the banks of Luit.